Did you know that if you drag and drop your audio effects onto your clips, you might actually be doing it wrong? Also, you only need a handful of audio effects to make your audio sound professional, and today I'm going to teach you how to use those effects. I'll also give you a fast and easy way to make your audio sound pretty good no matter what the starting point is with AI inside of Premiere Pro, but it's always good to know how to work your audio in case AI fails. Now, before we jump deeper into the actual effects we're gonna use, I have to talk a little bit about track-based editing versus clip-based editing. If you go over to Window, go down to Audio Track Mixer and select your sequence, you will open up a new panel that shows you all of your audio tracks from left to right. There are levels when you're playing back your video and a few other things. If you're editing, for example, an interview or any type of video where someone is talking like I am right now, this is where you'll want to apply the effects in. I know this might look a little bit scary at first, but trust me, it's actually pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Now, the reason you want to use the track mixer and the track-based editing instead of applying the effects onto the clips themselves is that if at some point you decide that you want to tweak an effect, in the track mixer you can do the tweak at once to the whole track and you're all set. If you have the effects on the clips themselves and you've already edited the video, you'll have to go back and tweak each individual clip separately. So if you've cut the interview, you may have 100 different clips that you would need to tweak. So that's just going to be a pain in the ass. Now, in the top left corner of the audio track mixer, there is a small arrow, so click on that and this will open up the effects track for the audio tracks. In my example, track 1 is where I have my speech in, so I will add the effects to the first column here. If you have multiple people speaking, so for example an interview with 2 different people, it's a good idea to have them all on their own tracks. To apply an effect to an audio track, click on the small drop-down arrow in the top section of the track mixer column and you can then search for effects here. Now, there are a ton of effects in here, but in most cases you're actually only going to need to use 4 of them. And once you've done the effects to one track, you can copy and paste them all to the other tracks by right-clicking on the effects track and then selecting copy and then pasting them to the next track. So you don't have to do each track individually, but you can copy and paste the effects from one track to the other. So the first effect that you want to apply most of the time is going to be DeNoise, which you can find under noise reduction. In almost every space that you film in, there's going to be some sort of background noise, like for example, an air conditioner humming in the background. This can be very easily cleaned out with the DeNoise effect. If you double click on the name of the effect, it will open it up in a new pop-up window so that it's easier to tweak the settings. Basically, all you need to do here is to set the amount of the noise reduction, but I'd avoid going higher than 50% here because that might make your audio sound a bit muffled. The lower of an amount of DeNoise you have, the better the quality of audio will stay. So just play around with the effect and see when the noise is gone well enough, but you're not ruining the original audio quality either. This will always depend on the amount of noise in your scene and in your footage. You can also hit the power button in the top left corner of the effect to disable or enable the effect to hear what the audio sounds like before and after applying the effect. So you can go back and forth listening to the audio with the noise and after applying the denoiser, so without the noise hopefully. And you can also select the frequency at which the effect will be strongest in, but the default setting usually works pretty well, so the only thing you need to tweak is the amount. And this is an audio sample of what the DeNoise effect actually does to your audio. So this is without the denoiser, and this is with the DeNoise effect applied. Moving on to the second effect, if you've recorded your footage in an echoey room, which usually happens to some extent, you're gonna wanna apply the DeReverb effect, which is also found under the noise reduction. Once again, watch out for ruining your audio with the DeReverb effect because the DeReverb, just as the DeNoise, can ruin your audio if you go too high with it. And I think the DeReverb actually ruins your audio a lot easier than DeNoise, so be careful with this. I usually have the DeReverb effect at a maximum of 25%, but the actual value will once again depend on the audio. So just listen to the audio at different levels of DeReverb until you're happy with the results. And in the best case scenario, you won't have any echo that you need to get rid of, so you won't even need to use this effect. But most of the time, there's a little bit of echoing in pretty much every room unless it's very well sound treated. Now this is an example of how DeReverb affects your audio. This is the sound without the DeReverb applied, and this is the audio with the DeReverb effect applied. Now the third effect that you're going to want to use, and this one you want to use in pretty much every single project, is going to be the dynamics effect, which you can find under amplitude and compression. With dynamics you can tweak the audio levels or the volume of your audio. Now, the effects in the effects track will essentially get applied from top to bottom, so the order of the effects actually does matter. I usually want the dynamics effect to be the last thing that affects my audio, so I'll put it in the last place. The reason for this is that after all of my audio effects are applied, I want my audio levels to be at a specific level, and this is what the dynamics effect does. However, it also affects how the next effect we're gonna use will kind of work on my audio, so I want to have the dynamics in place before we apply the next effect. Now, opening up the dynamics effect, you can see that it is actually divided into multiple effects in one, but quite often you'll actually only need to use 2 of them. First off, the limiter effect will make sure your audio levels won't go above a certain level, and you don't want your audio to be too loud and get clipped and distorted, and that's what the limiter is good at. You can just toggle on the limiter and set it to -3 decibels and you're good to go. -3 is usually a pretty good maximum volume that you want to have for your audio. You can go a bit higher or a bit lower than this, but I usually just set it to -3 and just go with it. Now, you could also apply a limiter to the master audio track of your video so that if you have, for example, spoken audio, sound effects, and music on top of each other on different audio tracks, this will make sure that the maximum volume of all of them combined won't go above that -3, for example, if you set the limiter to -3 decibels. Now, the second effect inside the dynamics effect that you're going to want to use is the compressor. With this, you can set a threshold or an audio value, for example, -12 dB. So let's say this is the 12 dB. Everything above that 12 dB will get quieter, and everything below 12 dB will stay unchanged. So this will help you even out the audio levels or the volume in your video. So for example, if you have someone talking and they raise their voice a lot and then go a lot quieter, this is something you can easily even out with the dynamics effect. And that's something pretty much everyone does to some extent. Not that much maybe, but a bit. So you can easily even out the volume of your audio with the dynamics. The great thing about the compressor is that if this is your threshold, the higher up we go above the threshold, the more it will be brought down. So it's easy to get everything hitting the same levels. The ratio here will determine how strong the effect will be or how much it will bring those audio levels down. And at this point, your audio levels might be a little bit too low, so you can use the makeup value to bring everything back up. But the makeup will make everything in your audio louder, so not just the stuff above your threshold or below your threshold, but everything in your audio. So the makeup doesn't really look at the threshold at all. And now after applying everything here in the compressor, your audio should have just about the same volume in the whole video, no matter what your starting point was. Now the values in the compressor will once again depend completely on the footage that you have. So play around with this, see what your footage is like, and then once you get the hang of the compressor, it's going to be very easy to actually use it. But in the end, if the peak values of your audio are jumping anywhere between -3 and -6 decibels, that's usually a good range to be at. And this is an example of the dynamics effect. So this audio is without the dynamics effect applied, and this is with the dynamics effect applied. Now, the last effect that we're going to apply is the parametric equalizer, or the EQ, which you can find under filter and EQ. And the equalizer is what actually makes your audio sound different and a lot better if you know how to use it. So you can, for example, boost the low frequencies or the bass to give more depth to your voice. Now, opening up the parametric equalizer, we get this graph thing that is kind of like a histogram for audio. So on the left, you have the low frequencies or the bass, and on the right, you have the higher frequencies. And dragging them up will make that frequency louder, and dragging them down will make it quieter. You can also turn off these anchor points because you don't usually need all of them, and you can make their spread wider or narrower to affect a bigger or a smaller range of frequencies with one anchor point. In here, you also have a high pass and a low pass filter marked HP and LP, which can be used to cut off the high and the low frequencies of your audio completely. Now, how you tweak things with the parametric equalizer will depend on the mic that you use, the voice that you're tweaking, how you recorded your audio, and what you ultimately want it to sound like. But I'll show you a quick and dirty starting point for most spoken audio. This is one that I use pretty much as a starting point for every single project that I have a talking person in. So first off, turn off all but 3 anchor points and then make the width of these anything from 0.5 to 1. So for example, 0.7 is a good starting point. Then turn on the high and low pass filters and bring them a little bit more towards the center, because there's really no data that we need for spoken audio in these frequencies, but there might be some humming or hissing in there. Then bring the first point up and towards the left side of the EQ to boost the bass, the center one down a bit to get rid of that muffled tone, and then the third one also up and towards the right to give the audio some clarity. So in general, boosting the high and the low frequencies will make your audio sound crisp but still deep, while lowering the middle frequencies will get rid of that muffled tone that you usually have especially with a little bit cheaper mics. But even the expensive ones have a bit of that kind of muffled tone that you want to get rid of. So having your EQ at a bit of an M shape like this will work as a starting point for most situations, and then you can just listen to the audio and see what sounds best for that voice that you're tweaking. So this is an example of how the equalizer effect works. So this is without the EQ applied, and now this is with the equalizer applied. But I know all of this audio tweaking is a lot to take in and a lot to learn, so if you don't want to learn all of this, there's a quick and dirty way to use AI inside of Premiere to get your audio sounding pretty decent. So go up to your window and then open up the Essential Sound panel, and with a clip with speech selected, you can use the Enhance Speech AI tool. With just one click, you can get a better audio, and you can also tweak the strength of the effect for better results. And if you want an even better result with AI, you can go over to podcast.adobe.com and use the Enhanced Speech V2 there, which is 1,000 times better than the one that you have inside of Premiere. And you also have a couple of adjustments that you can tweak here in the browser version of the Enhanced Speech tool. But that is all I have for today. I know this was a lot to take in, and I know I had to cut a few corners here and there. So this is just kind of a quick and dirty way to make your audio sounding very good, but kind of doing it quickly in a way. But anyways, I hope you learned something out of this. I hope this helped you in making your audio sound better. If you have any questions, drop them down below and I'll do my best to help you out and answer those questions. But as I said, that is all for today. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next one.